On this episode of Inner Voice, the more you learn to unconditionally love yourself, the more comfortable you are. And to be honest, the less you need to concentrate on unconditionally loving yourself. It just comes naturally. And the transition can be the place where the story in your head gets you. I had a friend once who shall remain nameless, Danny. Your labels have been in the context of other people.
Absolutely.
Hello, everyone. I gotta start today's episode in a special place. Can you hear the tone in my voice? The special tone. What did you say, Zach?
I said very serious.
Very serious.
Demure.
Very demure. That's a TikTok reference for everyone. Very, very, very serious. Because it's deadly serious that this is the honor of my life to be doing this work. And I know I've joked around, I do it for selfish reasons because I love to be inspired, but also I do it because I love it. My goodness, how many people are lucky enough to get to do what they love and to have people to do it with? Isn't that the essence? Isn't that what we're all working for? And so I have to thank you for listening, for sharing the episode, for joining our community, for supporting, for being good people, for excuse me while I cry, for just supporting. Zach, I was about to say someone like me, but let's put a pin in that and let's pause. Everyone deserves love and support, no matter who they are. And I'm just glad to have everybody around. How are you doing, Zach?
I'm doing marvelous. Thank you for asking. I'm so touched and honored. This is our second episode now, and I was so moved, like earnestly. There's a certain level of you when we put this together, and you hope and you expect a certain outcome or a number of outcomes, and and for me, as I was editing that first episode, to be as moved as a listener, I think it's really magical what we're doing, and then I'm thrilled to be a part of it, and so honored that the people who have shared their stories so far have done so in such an eloquent way.
I agree totally, and that's the word that keeps coming up for me. It's an honor to be doing this. Honor to be here with you, Zach. That's for sure. Speaking of being honored, I'm honored to introduce today's topic, which is self-worth. The absolute essence of any spiritual path, spiritual practice, is learning that you deserve kindness, love. I had a friend once who shall remain nameless, Danny, who was really upset that I used the word deserve so frequently and flippantly when I'm preaching, when I'm talking about self-worth. But truly, you come to a moment where you learn what you deserve and what you don't deserve, and then you take action. Ain't that the truth? Okay, reminder number one for our context for today, for self-worth discussion. You don't have to wait to be chosen. What you are doing is choosing yourself. Ought that to be repeated? Shall we do, I'll do a spoonful of sugar accent. You don't have to wait to be chosen. Choose yourself.
You look like her too. Julie Andrews?
I look like Julie from Victor Victoria. Hello.
I've
never
never
noticed
noticed
this about me. In every job that must be done, there's an element of fun.
But be careful now, Disney. Disney might come after us.
We don't want to demonetize. We don't want to be sued out of existence. That's reminder number one. You are not waiting around to be chosen. You are choosing you. And I would also recommend when you're ready, you build community. You build the community you've always wanted to join. That is truly a high level of spiritual practice. Ooh, I'm not waiting to be chosen by the people. I am creating the community that attracts the people I've always dreamed of. And I'm also going to become the people I've always dreamed of. And we'll talk about that today. Gosh, isn't this fun, Zach? Like, again, who gets to do this? You will never be too much for the right life. Now, you'll never be too much for the right people. We did a relationship episode. We recorded a relationship episode. But you'll never be too much for yourself and for your life. You get to be free. You get to have fun. You get to enjoy. You get to choose. And again, you get to choose yourself. There's one more thing I want to say before we speak to the community. My favorite thing to do in the world. Hear from the community members. Yeah, yeah. Every time you say, for those with the video, Zach is going to put in the clip of them dancing to that song.
I was DJing. I was trying.
Oh, you were scratching the records.
Swivel some scratch records.
Yes, yeah. I love it. Thank you. I've always yearned for that backup to my musical theater moments. Every time you say yes to something that isn't for you, you say no to stepping into your power. And that means when you make choices that align with you and your intuition and what is true for you, you are not just... When you learn what aligns with you and what doesn't, and you choose what aligns with you, you are training yourself to continue to choose that. It's one of the ironies of spiritual practice that early on, you are not yet the person who can unconditionally love yourself, but that is the time when you need to be the person who can unconditionally love yourself. The more you learn to unconditionally love yourself, the more comfortable you are. And to be honest, the less you need to concentrate on unconditionally loving yourself. It just comes naturally. And so the irony is when you first begin, it can be hairy times. But when you learn to choose what aligns with you, you reinforce who you are, what you deserve, why you're here. So my favorite part, questions from the community. I think we have a question from Sam first. Go ahead, Sam.
Hi, Jeffrey. My question is, where do you even start to look for your self-worth? How do you begin the search?
Where do you even start to look for your self-worth? How do you begin the search? To me, this is the essential question, which we've been talking about in our episode all day today. You have to, it's sort of, it's funny because we often talk, don't we, Zach? We often talk about building the ship as you're sailing it, building the train as you're running the train, building your life as you're living it. And that's an LGBTQ experience, but that's a pretty broad experience for a lot of human beings. A lot of us are caught in between. We're never given the skills to create a life that's kind. And we're also tasked with living a life that's kind because we don't want to pass on unkindness to everyone, the next generation, but even our generation, anybody we encounter. We're in this in-between place where we have to figure it out for ourselves. And if you were never taught that you have any worth, period, it can be very hard to find that worth. And it can feel like creating it out of nothing. But of course, Sam, if you're listening, the best part is that you have freedom. If you were never taught the right way to do it, you get to fill in the blanks yourself. That's the good side of the coin. You get to create the life, society, the world that you want to create. We've also talked several times on the podcast about how to protect ourselves in a world that's in tumult, that has a lot going on, that's difficult to interact with. And those parameters are set by us. It is the hardest thing we do, but it's also the place where we have the most freedom. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
We have a song for trivia. It's not this one, though.
No, but I'm
It's
going to
this
insert
one.
it. It's this one.
Good. Trivia. What's our trivia question for this week for self-worth?
Oh my
Tell
goodness,
me.
I thought you would never ask. Although
Except
I did
it's
think you would
in the
ask.
outline and tells me to ask you right now.
Oh my
Right
goodness.
now.
Sorry. Yes. Jeffrey, my trivia question for you, off the cuff and completely improvised, is at what age do individuals begin to embrace themselves just as they are, often due to major life events?
59 years old. 4 years old. That process seems like something that could happen anytime. Your 3-year-olds, your 23-year-olds, your 93-year-olds.
Oh, absolutely. But there is...
Repeat the trivia question again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
At what average age, so encompassing that there are outliers, do individuals begin to embrace themselves just as they are, often due to major life events?
What's your source?
My source for this one, because we always have a source, Jeffrey. We're responsible here. My source is The Sun, which is a British publication, an online publication.
Oh, yes. Okay, so I wonder if it's different in Britain than the US. That's an interesting trivia. But also, so I think we're zeroing in on what time in your life is usually filled with major changes for most people. And to me, okay, what's the worst year to be alive? 24. Don't ask me. But the most major changes, right? You know, I'm going to answer anyway, because you're out of college, but you haven't quite figured out being an adult yet. Terrible time. 24. Terrible. Anyway, I'm pushing 50, but I would say the most changes or tumultuousness would be your 30s somewhere. But it says what average age, so I need an exact number if I'm going to guess. Or
at least we need to tell
35.
people after.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to guess 35 just to put a pin in the board and to be concentrating on that trivia energy. 35-year-olds, tumultuous and major life changes and events. When we come back from the break, you are going to hear from the community again. And at the end of the episode, we'll get the answer to our trivia, which is always, I just wait with bated breath. I just wait with my toes and fingers crossed that I got the right answer. We'll hear from the community. Don't go too far. Enjoy the ads, and we'll see you in a moment. Hey, sweet friend. It's Jeffrey. Imagine a place where you can show up fully, exactly as you are, no judgment, just understanding, acceptance, and genuine connection. That's what you'll find in Jeffrey's Safe Space, my online community designed just for you. We're here to support each other, to grow together, and create a world that's softer, kinder, and so much brighter. Join us today at jeffreymarsh.com. You belong here, exactly how you are. And now, you know, I love connecting with the community, speaking with the community, having community time. We're going to talk to Rosalyn. Rosalyn, how are you doing? Did that take you off guard? How are you feeling? What's happening to you? What's happening today?
Well, maybe it happened yesterday. I gave notice at 4:00 yesterday afternoon of my impending retirement on April 15th.
Oh, may I say congratulations? I have a feeling your question is about that. So
yes,
we'll see if it's complicated or not. But yeah.
Yes, you may say congratulations. It's by design. It's been in 2 years in the making. It was supposed to happen the end of December, but we had to go through my husband seeing if he was going to be laid off by Boeing. He is safe, so I continue on. So April 15th. I will have been with my current company for 10 years, and I decided that was a good day to step off.
Tax day. Turn in your taxes and say goodbye.
Take the next step in my life.
Yeah. So tell me, since we're talking about self-worth today, what are you going through with that? What are you looking at with your retirement?
For the first time in 44 years, I will wake up on the 16th, and like Sam, I will, and like you taught me in the past, I will be starting a whole new adventure. And you just mentioned freedom. I'm going to take that extremely literal. And I have 3 years until my husband retires. So I have 3 years of exploring, finding me again. I have been a daughter. I have been a wife. I have been a mother. I have been a homemaker. Now I'm on my own and I need to be me.
Okay, I love talking about this. This is the universal story. Your labels have been in the context of other people.
Absolutely.
And now you said it. Oh, it makes me so excited. You said it so dramatically. You're going to wake up as soon as it turns midnight on the 16th of April. You got freedom. But I'm also intuitive. I'm sensing it's a little scary as well.
It's a lot scary.
Okay.
It's not a little scary. Nobody in my life,
yeah,
as it currently is, has ever voluntarily retired. They've been fired and forced into other options. My husband has had several jobs. Nobody has ever taken the step of no job by choice. So I have zero frame of reference. Like
yes,
it's a whole new world, literally.
Well, yeah, and to go back to the theme for today, our self-worth can be tied to our job.
Oh, yeah.
And so you learn that job performance has something to do with who you are as a person, your worth, how great you are, how good you are. And consciously choosing to have no barometer of self-worth that's external can be my teacher at the monastery used to call them spiritual opportunities. That can be a spiritual growth point for us. And, I was joking a little bit earlier. Of course, it's not going to happen in a snap at, midnight on the 16th. We have time before then, and your life is continuous. We like to think of big dramatic moments, and sometimes they do come to us. But you also will be Rosalyn before, you'll be Rosalyn during, you'll be Rosalyn after. And what I want to ask you is, what is your core value about yourself, about your feelings about yourself, that will be the same on April 16th? That's true now, true then. What's your core value about yourself?
Be kind.
Right? You answered so quick.
It's the two words I live by every breathing moment I have. And it is one of the things I'm taking into the next step of finding absolutely every opportunity to be kind.
I'm non-binary, and I work with people who are transitioning sometimes in the LGBTQ sense. But of course, I coach with people who are transitioning in all sorts of ways. And the transition can be the place where the story in your head gets you, where it ropes you into a belief system. And what I love, and one of the belief systems, the reason I brought this up is, one of the belief systems is that you will be lost. On April 16th, you'll be adrift. You'll be out there doing who knows what, somewhere out there. And of course, you answered so quickly. Your core value of be kind is your context. That is your life story, your destiny. And you're going to do that destiny on April 15th when you're interacting with UncleSam.gov. And then you're going to do it on the 16th. And then the 17th, 18th. And I hope, I pray for the rest of your life.
Thank you.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because be kind is who you are. So inspiring.
It's who I want to be remembered as. Those are the only two words I ever want associated with my name. My name is unique, and that is unique about me. And it's the only two words I want. That's what I want on my tombstone. Be kind.
All right.
I don't need any other title.
Great. May I compliment you before we say goodbye?
Yeah.
Some people hate compliments, but then I give them anyway because that's who I am. That's what I get from you. Be kind. It's written all over you. It's the clear core of who you are. And in a world that sometimes seems devoted to be kind, it's really a delight, refreshing, inspiring to spend time together. So
you helped me get here, Jeffrey.
Aw.
No, you did. In our coaching, you helped me get here.
That means the world to me. We help each other. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, you know that advice you give your best friend? The one that lifts them up, reminds them of their worth, and helps them keep going? Yeah. What if you actually took it yourself? My book, Take Your Own Advice, is the permission slip you didn't know you needed. It's a guide to self-kindness, to finally believing in yourself the way you believe in others. Packed with wisdom, warmth, and that signature Jeffrey magic. This book is like a cozy chat with me or one of your most supportive friends. So, if you're ready to stop second-guessing and start thriving, grab Take Your Own Advice wherever books are sold. And hey, this is your sign. Hey, beautiful soul. Jeffrey here. Are you ready to finally release what's holding you back? Step into your power and live authentically as your truest self? My one-on-one life coaching sessions offer you personalized guidance, heartfelt support, and transformative insights that are tailored just for you. Let's journey together toward greater self-love, clarity, and empowerment. Apply for life coaching at jeffreymarsh.com. You deserve this personalized care, and I'm here for you. Michelle, I would love to talk to you because you're amazing. And
Thank
for many
you.
reasons.
Thank you. So are you. Hi.
So good to see you. For those just listening to the podcast, we are on a Zoom, and when you watch the video version on YouTube, you only see me, but I get to see people. It's great to see you. What would you like to look at today?
I would like to look at what forms the voice can take, quote unquote, the voice.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I got to jump in. I don't want to seem rude, but that's the whole essence, right? Our self-worth is determined by that thing in our head talking to us. That parasite, that awful, can be guided by that awful voice in our head unless we do a lot of work.
Yes. And I had a breakthrough in coaching with you of realizing I had that voice. I did not realize what it was. That incredibly self-critical, and you know, showed me that it was self-hate. So it's easy to identify that voice now when it's really clear, just being mean, being critical. But I feel like it's trying to it's trying to sneak in other ways. So I wondered what you thought about that. It's trying to hide in other voices.
Sure. So always and I want to acknowledge your compliment. Thank you. I do the work I do so people get it. And sometimes the very first job is, you have a voice in your head, a taskmaster telling you how terrible you are and what to do, right? And honestly, I'll share a little bit about that. When I give an assignment within coaching to write down what the voice is saying to you, people have the huge realization that it is the cruelest thing that you have ever seen in your life. It tells you the most horrible things that you would never say to another human being.
Yes.
And as you point out, when we get onto it, when we start to figure it out, it can get a little subtle. It can wiggle around, gets slippery, tries to get in another door, tries to seem like it's a voice that's helping us, for example. But you tell me how you experience it. How is it shifting around for you?
Well, so this is why I wanted to ask about this, because something I'm experiencing is because I have this huge task to do, that I am having, I'll call it anxiety, and that kind of makes me freeze up and not move forward, not do the thing I need to do.
Very common.
And I decided, I was like, is this the voice? Because it doesn't, it doesn't seem like it. But I decided, it is. And then I was able to ignore it more easily. Because I was like, oh, that's just the voice. So.
Okay, so how many people, and you and I have talked about this and worked on this. How many people, once they realize the voice is there, then begin a quest to eradicate the voice? They go into a mode of not believing the voice, but now fighting the voice. So now we're the rebellious teenager and we're like, you can't tell me what to do inside my own head, right? And we fight it. And you used the word ignore, which I think is a great word to use, right? How do we become aware of it and give it less power and therefore move on with our lives?
Yes.
No matter how subtle it becomes. And the other thing I like about your story, or what you shared, your experience, if we pay close attention and we don't have an answer, we can fake the answer and move on with our lives. Meaning, is this the voice or not? Well, I'm just going to decide it is. Because that's, right? What happens if you're wrong? You'll just find out you're wrong and make a different choice.
I love that.
Right?
Yes, because, truly, I wanted to, do you think that's the voice? Does it even matter? Maybe, and as you're saying, maybe it doesn't matter. I just decided it wasn't helping me. It wasn't a good thing. So if calling it that allowed me to then go, nope. Oh, it's that. I don't have to listen. Then great.
I love the way you said that. Nope. Right? That's the essence. It's not, I hate you. And it's not, oh, you're right, I'm terrible. It's, nope.
Because I was really struggling with it. And really struggling with it. And just deciding, oh, that's the voice sneaking in.
Yes.
Then it was easier to ignore it.
Yeah. And not everything not everything we do in spiritual practice is easy. As a matter of fact, quite a bit of it is very difficult to do. And that's why most people don't do it. But there are those moments where the pieces fall into place. And those moments are the ones that we can celebrate and lift each other up. In workshops and in coaching and in, lots of contexts when I work with people often assume, and I want to phrase this very specifically, people assume that we're here for them to bring their struggles, which is true sometimes. And if someone's struggling, I'm here to help as best I can. But we shouldn't forget that we're here to share our triumphs too. And our meh, whatever's in between struggle and triumph. We're here to share the whole range of what it's like to be a human being. And sometimes you have a breakthrough, and that excited energy can help other people listening who might be in a different place know that, sometimes you work and work and work, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, nope. Right? You can struggle for years with that voice and you can be like, oh, yeah. And now, because of you, people will remember, oh, yeah. Remember what Michelle said? Michelle said, nope. I've been threatening. I think 2025, unlike, toxic positivity accounts who tell you the world is full of yes, I think 2025 is the year of no.
It's looking that way.
No, these aren't my people. No, this is not my thing to worry about. No, I'm not putting this on my plate right now. No. And no, I'm not going to take the advice of a disembodied voice in my head who hates my guts. Nope. Yeah. So can I ask you, last thing, how have you been working with it since then?
When it has come up, because it's not constant,
Mm-hmm.
when it has come up, I mean, labeling it the voice has made it much easier to put it aside and not hear it. Whereas, I mean, to be honest, it doesn't sound like the voice to me. It just is a bad feeling.
Oh, sure.
But calling it the self-hate critical voice and saying, I don't need you, has helped. I mean, it's been huge. So again, the gift that keeps giving from you.
Yeah, I try my best to be helpful when I can. The most exciting thing is that we get to train ourselves, mentor ourselves, decide what we want to take on spiritually at any time. And in terms of self-worth, it's almost a foundational pillar. So what you're saying to me, unless I missed something, is that you are worthy of being out of relationship with that voice.
Yes.
Which is a personal revolution we all have to go through. Ain't that fun? Ain't that grand?
Yes.
Thank you, Michelle. I really love talking to you. Lots of love. Take good care. Thank you.
You too.
What a beautiful time. I get to talk to people like Rosalyn, like Michelle, like Sam. We get to interact and feel the energy and the love on these Zooms when we're recording. Anyway, I say it all the time. Lucky. Glad to be alive. You all keep me on track, and I love you all dearly and deeply. Good. Shall we come back to that trivia question before I give people love and kindness?
Yes, please. Mm-hmm. You guessed 35, Jeffrey.
Well, we're gonna go to break, and we're gonna have our ads, but we're gonna repeat the trivia question to cliffhang people.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so our cliffhanging question is:
yes.
At what age on average, at what average age do individuals begin to embrace themselves just as they are, often due to major life events?
Okay, so I said 35 because I think a lot happens in a person's 30s.
I wouldn't know. I'm 17.
Mm-hmm. You're perpetually 25, dewy-skinned. This to me is, I can't wait. Okay, I was about to go on a big, huge speech, but I don't need to. Big life events, I said 35, and I can't wait to find out the answer. We will find out right after this. Hey, love. Jeffrey here. If you've ever felt lost, stuck, or wondered, who am I really, and how do I fully embrace it, then I've written something special just for you. My book, How to Be You, is your personal guide to self-acceptance, empowerment, and joyfully celebrating your true self. Because the most revolutionary thing you can ever be is exactly who you are. Ready to step into your truth? Pick up How to Be You wherever books are sold. You deserve it. Welcome back. Trivia answer for everybody. Would you repeat the question again and then give the real answer?
Oh, I would love to.
Because I said 35 years old, and I'm wondering.
At what average age do individuals begin to embrace themselves just as they are? Those quotes in the question, Jeffrey, I'm just trying to project.
I love
often
it.
due to major life events. And the answer is...
Tell me.
Research indicates that individuals, on average, begin to embrace themselves just as they are at age 33.
I was
often
so
prompted
close.
by significant life events, such as becoming a parent, experiencing the loss of a loved one, reaching milestone ages, getting married, or starting new jobs. And again, my source is The Sun.
You know, some of us have tragedy and growth experiences at any age. And some of us perpetually throughout our lives have a lot of pain in our lives. But that's really interesting. And interesting that it's The Sun and a UK publication. I would think the same would be true for Americans and probably people in various cultures throughout the world. Ooh. But anyway, to reiterate what I said earlier, if you're 24, I love you. My goodness. Bless you. Bless you to be going out into the world for the first time. Bless you. I know I don't look it, but I'm 47, so I know I don't act like it either. What a wonderful episode we've had, and to speak to Michelle, Rosalyn, to connect with Sam, to connect with you, Zach. It's, again, the honor of my life. And I want to leave you with some thoughts about how beautiful you are as a human being. You know, I've been at my most popular on the internets. Well, I'll say my very first viral Vine, like a decade ago, was "There is nothing wrong with you." Because Vines are 6.5 seconds, so you really got to distill the message down. And that was the one of my very first viral Vines. Today, I want you to leave with this message. You are allowed to outgrow any old version of yourself. You have the space. You deserve the space to outgrow any old versions, and don't feel like you need to wait around or you need to be quote unquote consistent because someone said so. Especially in terms of self-worth, you can outgrow that older self and embrace a new self that's filled with love, where you love yourself. Confidence isn't knowing you're right. Confidence is knowing you're allowed to be yourself. One teensy-weensy story. I went on Newsmax. It was a hostile environment. If you go look up the viral clip, the dude who ran the show was like, "Gender queer, what's that? Never heard that word before." And he wasn't from Brooklyn. I'm just adding that for a dramatic flair. But it was a hostile environment, and in my mind, I was saying, "Jeffrey, I love you." You can see it in my eyes in the clip. I'm glad you're here. Let's do something fun after this. I love you. Join me over in the self-esteem camp. I love you. You're worth something. It's okay to stumble, crumble, fumble, bumble, plumble. It's okay to have bad days, good days, all the days. It is okay to outgrow an old version of you. Thank you all so much for your hearts, your minds, your attention, and I love you lots. I'll see you next time. Bye. This has been Inner Voice with Jeffrey Marsh. Today's episode was produced by Zach Latino. If you're ready to go deeper, transform your life, and experience personalized support, my one-on-one coaching sessions can be applied for at jeffreymarsh.com. Know someone perfect for Inner Voice? Send them our way. Have them visit jeffreymarsh.com to sign up for our exclusive online community. and we'll reach out if their inquiry aligns with an upcoming episode. Remember, you are worthy exactly as you are. See you next time.